pretty much everywhere, it's going to be hot. Janet?
Then I don't need a jacket. Thanks, Arthur.
Now we're going to Javon Yvonne Vinci Ramon, United States, who's there with part 3 of Angry Red Planet, his search for life on Mars. Javon, yesterday was a big day.
Oh, yes, indeed it was. I met Mr. Tad Ripley, a writer in Cerritos, California, who had some shocking information.
There is a face on Mars. It was a face created by an ancient culture. We've got fact. We've got scientific data that we will uncover. There was a former employee of JPL who has told me directly that they've done an about-face on this.
So on that note, I went to the street to ask Californians how they felt about the possibility of having Martian neighbors. Do you believe that there could be life on Mars?
No.
No way. There's no way at all that life could exist on Mars.
I really don't know.
You don't know?
I really don't know. Haven't thought about it much.
Do you believe aliens, Martians?
Absolutely.
Why?
I've seen starships. I've traveled with them.
We are not the only people we can live in this space.
Yeah, I think there could be. Why not? Matter of fact, yeah.
And then suddenly, I woke up. I'm like on an operating table.
I'd be too self-centered to think that it was only us.
I thought when I was a kid there was life on Mars, but you asked me a personal opinion, I think it's just a bunch of dust and heat.
There has to be other life other than our own in this entire universe.
And they take my thought, and then they ask me another question.
While not everyone here seems to be interested in life on Mars, one man I ran into is exceptionally interested and had some amazing things to say. Janet Ephraim, tomorrow I'll show you some of that tape, and you'll be surprised to hear what he had to say. Back to you.
It looks like he's having a lot of fun. We're going to Javon for part 4 in his 5-part series In Search for Life on Mars, Angry Red Planet. Javon, it looks like you're at the beach.
Oh, yes, I am, and the scenery is beautiful. Ephraim, yesterday I had a chance encounter with a man claiming he had extensive knowledge of life on Mars. We're all familiar with little green men with wagging antennae, and most of us have heard outlandish stories of alien abductions. But what Ward Stickman McReynolds told me was far more thought-provoking than the usual out-of-this-world stories.
See, I don't know if I can answer that sort of question. That sort of thing makes me seem like a kook, you know? How do I feel about Martians? All I know is the evidence that I've seen. The evidence that anybody can see. I know some more things because of my friend. But I don't know, you know, what they are, who they are. I just see the evidence. It's not just the face. There's a pyramid. The biggest one, it's 2 miles at the base, 5-sided. There's also remnants of an inland sea. And on the sea, there's a city. The city, the pyramid, and the face are all three of them form a perfect equilateral triangle. There's also formations in the Cydonia Inland Sea that almost exactly resemble the geometry of crop circles. You look at a picture of them side to side, it's quite obvious. Now, to me, that suggests some sort of correspondence. The intelligence that made the crop circle, the intelligence that made these figures on Mars, it's got to be the same. You know, there's a whole school of thought that says that the discoveries about Mars in the last couple of decades are direct confirmations of biblical prophecy. You know, biblical prophecy, Revelations, Isaiah, Numbers. But it also says in Revelations that Jesus' message is going to be confounded by Satan. Well, I think the message has been confounded by Satan. I don't particularly believe that NASA equals Satan, even though there's 4 out of 5 letters are the same. But they've got a directive from the National Security Agency to keep from doing things that would cause widespread public panic. You were at JPL.
Yes.
I know this guy who worked for JPL. He worked on both the Mars missions. He tells me there's tons of stuff that's never been released about Mars. And this guy's serious too. He's been an advisor on this like big Hollywood movie about this stuff.
Can you get me in contact with this guy?
I'll give you a number.
So who is this insider? This former employee of NASA? And would he be able to confirm the theory that NASA has purposely kept information about civilization on Mars a secret? Mr. Stickman gave me his contact number. I called it. My crew and I hurried back to our hotel to await his response. Well, we waited, and our patience pays off in tomorrow's piece, the final segment of Angry Red Planet.
Thanks, Javon.
Wow, Javon is doing a real bang-up job out there.
Oh, yeah, but we know he could do it. All right, welcome back. It's 48 past 7, and before we send you out on your Friday, Javon Ramon has the final part in his series, Life on Mars, Angry Red Planet.
In yesterday's piece, I was awaiting a telephone call from a man whom supposedly worked for NASA. Other people I have interviewed over the course of this story had referenced him and his authority on the subject of a massive NASA cover-up. A cover-up designed to keep from the people of Earth that on Mars there is lucid evidence of not just life, but civilization. The former JPL employee was willing to talk to us, but on his terms, a meeting was arranged. He picked the time and the place. While he was eager to let us in on his exclusive information, our insider asked that we obscure his face and disguise his voice. We obliged to protect his identity, but remember, these are his actual words.
In 1996, when the discovery of the bacteria fossils and that meteor were found, that was really the first scientific confirmation of alien life forms. And it's a great way to introduce the American people, the people of the world, to the idea that there's something out there. It is NASA's policy to prepare the people for the day that alien civilization is confirmed. It's to prevent panic. NASA's been engaged in this endeavor of theirs for many years, and I can tell you when it started. It was in '76 when the Viking orbiter sent back the images that NASA was so quick to publicly dismiss, and they began a really concerted and well-constructed effort to begin to make the people used to and comfortable with alien life. NASA has not only had a consulting role in motion pictures and television and all sorts of media, they've actually funded movies that portray alien life as friendly, amiable, or in some cases cuddly. Think of movies in the 50s. They portrayed aliens as marauding murderers. Think all the way back to radio and Orson Welles and H.G. Wells. And then think of movies and television today. Think of how warm and fuzzy and cute and just plush toy they all are now. This has been NASA's policy to mediate the media. The Mars Polar Lander, which was supposedly lost last week, which was apparently crashed onto Mars. It's not on Mars. It never was supposed to be on Mars. It's successfully en route to a deep space rendezvous with
Interesting spot for the satellite to fail, don't you think? I continue to monitor the TV morning program. They have yet to complete Mr. Rameau's report. I will continue to monitor for new developments. In the meantime, visit Mr. Ripley's website, marsface.com, and write your congressman, because we have a right to know.